I'm up bright and early this morning. I haven't quite done my hair just yet, just because it's still a little bit damp and I want to give it the best chance for the girls to rest. So I'm going to take them out when I get to my destination.
Turn left
I'm setting
onto
off 1 minute
Victoria
later
Street.
than planned, which is absolutely fine. And I was up so early this morning. I was up at 5:45. It's now 6:15. Well, 6:17 technically. But I don't feel too guilty because actually the other girls in the room all set an alarm for 5:45 as well because they wanted to watch the sunrise, but none of them have made out of bed yet. But also they were so rude last night. Not rude because I did sleep because I was knackered, but they turned on the big lights multiple times throughout the night. They were packing and unpacking stuff as they're leaving today, and they were talking really loud. So it's not like they were being particularly considerate in the grand scheme of things, and they didn't apologise this morning either. But that's fine. I did manage to sleep. I got almost 8 hours, which was nice. I was in bed and closed my eyes for 8 hours and 45, and then I was up for about 5 minutes each time they came in and started doing stuff. And then one of their alarms went off at like 4 o'clock. I don't know why. None of them got up, but I got up and went to the toilet, and then it took me about 20 minutes to fall back to sleep. So yeah, we'll see how today goes. I've just had my first proper encounter with homelessness in Australia. I've only seen homeless people twice, and the first one was in Brisbane from a distance because I was on the ferry and they had a camp set up under like a big long bridge ramp. And then someone's just been looking through a bag of rubbish on the floor to see if any of the food containers had any food left. So, makes me sad. But yeah, that's kind of the area that I'm in. It feels a little bit dodgy. And I'm back wearing these horrible shoes. They're really sandy, and I'm trying to work out when I last wore them and why they're so sandy. But I can't remember. It's already 18 degrees and I'm sweating, and it's not even 6:30 yet, which is crazy to me. Today's supposed to get up to 29 degrees here. I have looked at the Blue Mountains and it's only getting up to 25 there, which would be a lot nicer. But yeah, hot one. Looks like they're already here waiting for me.
From this bushland on, and where you see these towers behind you, or behind the bush, is where the Sydney Olympics were in 2000. There's our cockatoo flying.
I don't know if I said where I'm going today, but I'm on my Blue Mountains day trip from Sydney, and I'm so excited. We have just got to the first proper stop, which is Echo Point, where we can overlook the valley and see the Three Sisters. There's not a cloud in the sky. So this is Echo Point, like I said, and these 3 rocks over here are the Three Sisters, although I feel like I can count way more. There's another walking path to a different viewing point to see the Three Sisters from the other side, and I was going to do it, but I've just seen a sign and it's a 15-minute walk one way. So unfortunately I don't have enough time. I've only got 20 minutes before he's picking us up. Which is a shame because I think it would have been nice to see it from that side. And also, like, all the pictures that I see online are always from this side. So if I was doing it by myself, I would definitely just stay longer and do it from the other side, because I think that would be like an interesting perspective. As we were driving up, this was even prettier because down here there was loads of mist coming down, and I genuinely thought from like the window of the car for a brief second I thought it was a waterfall, and when we first arrived there was a little bit left, but now it's all gone. It's still gorgeous, still very pretty, but obviously it was a little bit prettier earlier. There's also another walk this way to the waterfalls, but it's an hour walk, so I'm going to see how far I can get in a minute, see if I can get some pretty pictures of these mountains. But I think I'll be able to see these from the scenic rides. So they have 3 rides at different points for the Blue Mountains, and they all go like over the valley in different ways. So I'm hoping I'll be able to see the waterfall from that side of things instead of the walk, because I don't have an hour. The guide said this area was 10 times older than the Grand Canyon, which blows my mind because I feel like no one really talks about this place, but everyone talks about the Grand Canyon. The scenic skywalk. Because of the sun you couldn't really take any pictures or videos through the glass because it was just reflecting, but the waterfall and the valley were beautiful. The waterfall is just really high but very thin, but we're now going on the scenic railway which takes us all the way down, and if I remember correctly it is a 52-degree incline, the steepest passenger train in the world. Train was so steep, we were literally like leaning forward, having to push ourselves back. So it was a little scary when it first started, but then calmed down. It actually goes through a naturally made tunnel, and it was first started to be a mining train, which is interesting. So we're now doing a little bushwalk and going through like all the history of the mine and things. So there's like mine entrances and vents and things, which is cool. This is also the world's tallest boardwalk. We've just done at the scenic cable car. It's the same sort of distance as the railway, but it doesn't feel as steep, and the views were beautiful. There's so many different lookout points. So this is the railway, and then this side here is the cable car. So they come to the same point, like I said, but just very different. I just read like the 4 cutest storybooks in there. If I had room in my backpack, I would totally be buying them for like my future kids. There was one about drop bears, which I thought was really cute because it was just a koala wanting hugs. And then there was 2 about Goodnight Moon, but one Good Morning Australia and one Good Evening Australia, Good Night Australia, something like that. And they were both really cute with like loads of Australian animals. And then my favourite was the platypus and the crocodile, which was a take on The Owl and the Pussycat. And the story was super cute, it rhymed, it was a really nice book, it was really nice illustrations, so I would definitely be buying that one if I could. If I could, I would have got it. Now heading away from the Blue Mountains and the scenic world. I'm glad I did it this way because it hasn't taken as long to do it. I think if you weren't doing the rides and you were walking everywhere, it would obviously take all day. So I'm glad I've done it this way. We're heading to Laura for lunch, and then after lunch we're heading to the Sydney Zoo for koala pictures. I am a little annoyed because there was a group of Indian women in the toilets before me, and obviously I've got family that are Indian, so I'm not against Indians in general, but all 3 of them weed on the seats. And then one of them put out a bag that had spikes on it, and it's pulled my top. So now I've got a massive hole in my top, and it's like pulled all the material. So not only is it one of my favourite tops, but I've now got a hole in for the rest of the day. And I'm going to have to leave it in Australia because I can't really, there's no way to fix it. I lie, we're having a little stop at the big waterfall first. Apparently it's 80 steps down. I've also done minor surgery on the way here because luckily I had my first aid kit with me, which also has my sewing kit. So I've managed to tie it off, which will hopefully stop it from getting worse.
Beautiful old building.
Oh my gosh, that was difficult, so I'm very much hoping the food is worth it. We drove past a Chinese on the way, and then since then I've been craving Chinese, especially because I don't think I'm going to be able to eat much tonight before the Phantom of the Opera. So I've come to a Chinese, I'm the only one here, it's really dark. And then I asked for satay chicken, but they said they couldn't do it without the peanut sauce. I asked for teriyaki chicken, but they didn't have it. So I've gone for honey chicken. Then I asked for Diet Coke / Coke Zero, because nowhere seems to do Diet Coke, but they have Diet Coke, and then she was really confused which one I wanted. So we'll see how it goes. That was literally the strangest experience I've had in a restaurant. They brought it out within about 2 minutes. The rice was burnt. Chicken tasted nice, but slightly worried I've got food poisoning. And then the lady, because I was the only one in there, she literally sat and talked to me. It was a nice conversation, but she was just chatting. And I was like, I really would like to eat and charge my phone and do all sorts. But anywho, she ended up having more people coming in. But the conversation was basically, I look like a teenager, I shouldn't be travelling, I shouldn't have enough money, no way am I 30, and I must have a very stress-free job. And I was like, well, I'm a midwife, which is actually ranked the first most stressful job in the world at the moment. We've now arrived at Sydney Zoo. Mainly the reason for coming here is for a koala picture, but apparently the rules changed and now you can no longer hold a koala picture, despite me paying for it like a year ago. So that's really frustrating. I would have done it in Australia Zoo had I known, but I thought I already had it here, so I didn't bother. I did get to stroke a koala at Australia Zoo, so at least that's something. And he's just gone to move the bus, but I was pretty desperate for the toilet, so I stepped off. And I've just realised I've left my sunglasses on the bus. And this is probably like the only thing I need here, my phone and my sunglasses. I've got my big rucksack, but I don't need anything in it. And I've left my sunglasses on the bus. Very annoying. It's literally a very quick 30-second in out. Don't think it's worth $20, but hey hey. I am now heading around the zoo. I've got an hour and 5 minutes to see the entire zoo. We'll see how it goes. It's very hot, and I've not got my sunglasses, so I'm already quite red. Fair to say that actually pretty alert and awake. Where to go, where to go? White dingoes here. I think it's too hot even for them. It's 28 degrees at the moment. I am sweating for the first time today. I think I'm going to put my hair up and put a hat on. I also should probably put on some sun cream, but I also don't want to waste time being here. It's tricky. Okay, I'm a little bit more sun protected. I've got my hat on, I've got my hair up, and I've got my electric handheld fan. Can't say I'm very impressed with this view, so maybe it's a good thing that we're not here for too long. Definitely glad I didn't make the trip by myself to come. I also think it's very hot and late in the day, so for the animals, they're all resting and in the shade, like right at the back of their enclosures, so you can't see very much. This is one of the enclosures where they've got like one of each animal, which is good. Obviously I prefer more of each animal, but obviously this is how it is in Africa, and on the safari that I did to Tanzania, this is how you saw them. They're all in like one enclosure. Gosh, every time I look there's another animal. There's a whole herd of deer, or I'm not sure what they are for a distance, but deer-like. And then there's an ostrich as well. I have to say, African animals are definitely my favourite. I just love watching them. And there's 2 lions here. I'm surprised, they're both male. I don't know if they've got any females, but I can't see any females at the moment. I was just reading the sign, there is apparently any males here, so it's a pride of males. And apparently when they all leave a pride, they have better survival chance if they all come together. So there's 3 men in there, and one of them was slightly hidden, but when I changed ankles I could see it behind a log. That's interesting, I didn't know that. There are people on that lower level, but I don't know how to get there. I've ended up here and I don't seem to be able to get down. Those deer things are called nyalas. Nyala? Nyala? Something like that. They've suddenly reopened up that enclosure because all the baboons were inside, and then all of a sudden they all came out, and they had like 3 little babies with them. And then my phone said it had no storage left to take any more pictures or videos, so I'm going to have to spend the next 10 minutes on the bus trying to sort that.